Okay, folks, right, I do hope you're well this very fine Tuesday, I really do. Right, this one's an important subject. I'm not sure it's one I'm allowed to covering it anyway. Might get in trouble, hopefully I don't. It's a serious subject, so I'm going to talk a little bit slower than normal. I'm going to put the bins on shortly because I've got a bit of reading to do because there's lots of names involved. But it covers the BRIANNA, is it G? I think they're saying BRIANNA J. Now, if I fail during the course of this, then I'm really sorry. I would pronounce that name as BRIANNA GHEY. When I've seen that name before, that's how it's been pronounced, I think, and sometimes I say the wrong thing. I've thought, and this is my conspiracy theories dead on, that they've changed it to J or G because of the circumstances and the hate that's out there for certain people and the hate that's surrounded this murder, because obviously it is a murder. Obviously, I go in from male to female, and the sexuality thing and whatever else. I thought, has the name been changed by the press? Maybe it is J or G, I don't know. So if I say gay, it's an accident and it's nothing else. I don't re-record. Right, obviously I'm from Warrington. The young lady was from Warrington. She got murdered just outside Warrington. Well, culture that comes under Warrington, but it's very much on the outskirts, by two youths who are now on trial. The trial started yesterday. I believe not a lot's to be said about it in the press and various platforms, but that said, I'm reading things about it in the newspaper, so I would imagine I can repeat things that are in the newspaper. Well, I'm going to, but I'm pretty sure I can. And I just want to give my thoughts on it, and this is one that really got to me. There's a few that's got to me over the last 12 months, and I think anybody with anything about them and with a heart will probably feel the same. I've spoken up before on this channel about certain things to do with trans and the trans community, but mainly the activists. I've got no problem with a young girl wanting to be a boy or vice versa, none whatsoever, and I mean none. I felt so sorry for this young person with what happened to this young person a few months in culture. Honestly, it's horrendous, it really is. It's just absolutely shocking. Been waiting for the trial for a number of months now, as no doubt her parents will have been. And I'm very, more interested in the outcome. I think we're pretty certain that the two defendants are going to be found guilty. I just hope, and I really, really hope, that the sentence is in line with a few other sentences we've had over the last sort of 12 to 18 months. More about them in a moment. My worry is because of their age, they're going to almost get away with murder, if you like. I know it's a widely used term. I don't want to make light of anything that's happened, that's transpired before now, but I'm worried that they will, figuratively speaking, get away with murder, and I hope that isn't the case. Now, I'm talking as a guy that lives in that there Warrington. One of the defendants is from Warrington and one from Lee. I may even know the parents are relations. For all I may, I've no sympathy whatsoever for the person or people that committed this heinous crime, because it really, really was. It was atrocious. As I say, I'm reading some facts yesterday from the day one of the case. I think it started yesterday. And it says, I think the people were both 15 at the time, boy and girl. I think they're now both 16. They both always wanted to kill somebody for the thrill of the kill. God only knows what that's all about. And if I've read things right, and I think I have, but I may be slightly out, but I think BRIANNA was probably about the third person they picked on. They were looking at doing it to two others first, and things never came off. And BRIANNA ended up with being the unlucky person. I think BRIANNA was only 15 at the time. Came from, I think, Birchwood School, which isn't a million miles away from where I live. Born a boy, was transitioning, I think that's the right term, into being a girl. Again, as I say, no issues with that, no problem at all. I mean, I've seen the picture of BRIANNA, and a lovely looking girl she made, and she really did. Not that that matters, but just looked young, lovely, innocent, and then had the life sniffed out by two absolute morons who, as I say, have been swapping text messages to say they wanted to kill somebody. They talked about the way they would kill and the knives they would use. I think the boy amongst the two said he wanted to shove the knife in X amount of times and see whether or not she squealed like a bloke or like a woman, a man or a boy. Just sickening, just really, really sickening. My worry is, as I say, is about the trial and the outcome. It's always been the way in this country that if you're younger, firstly, you don't have your names revealed, because I don't know who the people were. It's probably been on social media, but I don't do social media. I think because of age, people get away with a hell of a lot. The sentences are a lot lighter than they should be. I mean, for me, this murder is very much up there with the James Bulger one. The Bulger one was different in the way it was carried out. James was a hell of a lot younger. The people that killed him were a lot younger than these two. These two were 15. I think they were 10, 11 at the time, so they were a lot more immature. And I think one of them, if not both of them, were a bit behind, a bit backward, if that's not, I don't know if you're allowed to use that word anymore, but I'm going to. I read it at the time. I think they never had the minds of 10 or 11 year olds, so there wasn't the sharpest tools in the box there. I don't know the mental state of these two people that have killed young Brianna. Obviously they weren't very well to want to kill somebody and to carry it out, but I don't know, what's the word, mind-wise, whether they're of the right age. I don't know whether they're backward or not, or whether they're normal think. Well, they're not normal thinking. But I look at the past sentences that have been handed out to 3 of the more horrific murders in the Northwest over the last sort of 18 months. Most of them, it turns out to be in Liverpool. And I look at some of the sentences given out, and I think to myself, well, let me just say this. I mean, I've wrote a couple down. This is where the bins will come into it, and I'll tell you my thoughts on things. The James Bulger one, I think they got that out. I think they were sentenced for indefinite sentences. They were sentenced to indefinite sentences. I think they were let out after 8 years. Just criminal. No wonder his mum and dad are beside themselves. Just criminal. I think one of them's been back in a number of times for various misdemeanours, which just shows probably never should have been let out at the outset. The other one I think has been out since and is under a pseudonym and he's getting away with it. I think he's a very, 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 very lucky boy, very fortunate boy, and should never have been let out, or not for many years anyway. What they did was extremely sadistic, as was the thing with Brianna. Before we go to the other 3 murders, again, for those that don't know it, I think Brianna Easter Airhead was stabbed 26 times around the neck area, the face, the back, and the chest. I mean, that's got to kill somebody, isn't it? That's somebody that isn't going to stick a knife in somebody to see what it feels like or to hear how they squeal. That is somebody that's decided they want to kill that person. I mean, that's as premeditated as you get, and after all the text, they've wanted to kill somebody. It isn't a manslaughter, it's a murder. I think they're both trying to blame one another, both say the other one did it, don't they, eh? Best of friends, but now they're turning on one another. As I say, they've done it between them. Doesn't matter if it's 22 stabs to 4 or 25 stabs to 1, or one of them just stabbed Brianna 26 times, it doesn't matter. The other one's fully complicit and hopefully deserves the same sentence, I would hope. But we look at Bulger, they got out after 8 years, which is just criminal. We'll look at 3 from the last sort of 12, 18 months. The Olivia Pratt-Corbell, was it the young girl was she 9 or 10 when she got killed? I think the person that did that got 42 years. Now I would say, and many will think I'm absolutely out my tree here, I'm wrong, Olivia Pratt's mother will definitely think it. I thought that was a harsh sentence for the girl's murder. Don't get me wrong, when I say I thought it was a harsh sentence, what I mean is I didn't expect anything like that. I believe for a murder, a proper murder, they should never come out. But I was surprised that that person got 42 years, and I'll tell you why. That guy went into the house with a gun chasing somebody else down. He shot once or twice, and one of the bullets killed Olivia, which is shocking. It's murder, he deserves everything he gets. But what I will say, he didn't go in to kill Olivia, he didn't point the gun at Olivia, and he didn't purposely kill her. He went for somebody else. Let me just finish before anybody sort of jumps down my throat, because that's what they're going to do. Look at the Ellie Edwards one, is it? I think that was the one in the public house. Was it on Christmas Eve, Boxing Day or something like that? And I think it was on the Wirral. The guy there that killed her got 48 years. Now I think that's a lot more in line with what it should be than the Olivia Pratt-Corbell one, because that guy went in, if I'm right, with a submachine gun, just banging it around. Now he's not going in to kill her Edwards, of course he's not. But he could have killed 4 people then, or 6 people or 8 people. He's gone in for 1 or 2 people. He's not got the people he wanted, but he's killed that young defenceless girl with a machine gun. That when you go in with that kind of gun with a room full of people, you're going to kill people. You could kill a lot more than 1. It's a miracle that only 1 got killed. He got 48 years. Yeah, I'm with it all the way. The next one is Ashley Dale. I think 4 people. I think they all got a minimum of 41 years. I think 3 of them didn't do it. 1 of them did, but they all got 41 years because they're all complicit. They're all part of it. Again, rightly so. Again, I believe they went in with a submachine gun. Unfortunately, they caught her. They were after a boyfriend. But again, you're going in with a submachine gun. Anybody could have got killed. It could have been her. It could have been 3 or 4 more. It could have been people in the houses around the back. If she's back to back with somebody, I don't know if a house was, but it probably was. He could have got somebody else's in another kitchen, cooking the tea, knows nothing about it. Bang, bullet comes through the window, you're dead as well. You go into a property of any kind with a submachine gun, you can do untold damage. Absolutely untold damage. So I would suggest the sentences for the last two especially are probably spot on. For all they never went to kill the two people that they actually killed, they're probably spot on. Because when you go in with that kind of weapon, you're going to kill people. How only one got killed in each instance is beyond me. It's surprising. I think the Olivia Pratt-Corbell one was much more unlucky. I don't for 1 minute think they shouldn't serve that sentence. If they stayed in for life, I'm all with that. You know, for that kind of killing, I'm all for that. But because of the kind of killing, because they went in with one gun, firing one round at a time, I was surprised it was that strong. But I don't disagree with it. Which then takes you back to the BRIANNA GHEY murder. They went at her with a knife and stabbed her 26 times. They meant to kill her every bit as much as them two monsters killed James Bulger. They went with the same intent as them two did with Bulger. Only they're 5 years older and should know better and should know more and shouldn't be that sick. The person that went in to kill Olivia Pratt-Corbell didn't go in to kill that little girl, although it happened. And by the way, as I say, I'm not on that person's side. As I say, I'm happy with the sentence he was given. Each of those murders upset me all. That one, especially the Pratt-Corbell, really got to me. It had me in tears. I've got 3 grandchildren, 2 of which are girls, and that young child reminded me of my 2 grandchildren. And it's a case of there for the thingy of God, is it? I mean, it could have been my grandchild. It always could be. You just never know what's around the corner. You never ever know, and that could have been one of my grandchildren. That hurt me massively. So if you're given massive sentences there for killings, I would suggest this killing of BRIANNA GHEY is every bit as bad as the Bulger killing, and worse than the other 3, even the 2 with the machine guns. Because the 2 with the machine guns, yes, they both kill people, but they never aim for that person. Obviously, they should have known better and shouldn't have been doing it. With BRIANNA GHEY, they've gone to kill her, and they've gone to do it with force, and they've rained down a number of blows. Just the same as the James Bulger thing. I hope that in for 40, 50 years, or forever, I hope they never get out. But I worry, I really do worry, that they'll come out a lot earlier than they should, mainly because of their age. Age seems to play a massive part in our judicial system, and I think it should to an extent, but when a murder is this bad and it's been premeditated, then it never should. And I do hope, I really do hope that in for a very, 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 very long time, and if they never see the light of day again, I for one wouldn't be at all bothered by that. Because I'll tell you now, if it was one of my children that did that to another, people say you can't disown your own kid. Well, I would. I mean, people say you can't. I love my 3 kids with an absolute passion. If one of my kiddies did that to another human being, that'd be it for me and them, and I would never expect them out again. Absolutely never. And as I say, people will not believe that when I say that. But my kids would have been disowned. If they'd done that to any other human being, that would have been it for my kids. And my kids know that to be true. They know that's the kind of person I am. Not that I'm holier than thou, not that I'm anything special, because I'm certainly none of those things. But I couldn't bear one of my children to do that to another human being. I couldn't at all. So BRIANNA, I hope you get justice, lovey. You're not here anymore, which is unfortunate. But I hope for your mum and dad, justice is meted out. I really do. And just such a sad, real sorry episode. An awful thing to happen. You don't believe it's going to happen in your own doorsteps. I'm probably, 2 miles, 3 miles away from it. And you cannot believe it. Every time I drive past there, I think of you. It's awful. Absolutely awful. Anyway, we'll see how it goes over the next 4 or 5 weeks. They say that's how long it's going to last.